We all know trading is hard, but it's even harder when you are starting on the wrong foot. There are a lot of things that majority of people do wrong when starting out with forex trading. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the ones that I personally have experienced and have been able to get myself out of by by the way of experiencing it, by the way of struggling through it, by the way of battling it, and being able to figure out these are actually mistakes, these are actually problems that can be hindering your success as a trader. So before we go on with this video, I just want to let you know that this video is majorly for beginner traders, someone that haven't find their footings in the market just yet, maybe someone that's been struggling to even have a profitable strategy, or not to talk of making profit out of the market. Maybe you've been losing a lot of money. So this video is particularly made for you, and you are someone that you feel like you are already a profitable trader, then this video is not made for you. I don't want you to waste your time watching this video because you might not find it useful as someone that's just coming out to start trading wood. So with that being said, let's dive into it. So with me right here, I have I've written out 9 things that I've noticed that ever since I stopped doing them, ever since I stopped looking those ways, my results have grown. Everything, a lot of things have actually changed. Like, I mean, the way I learn is different now. The way I approach the market is different now. The way I see things is practically different now. And this is something that I want to share with you guys so that you don't have to go through those. I don't have people to, put me through the way, let me know this, because most of the time, these are the things you have to experience yourself. And these are also the things that actually make trading takes a lot of time before profitability usually shows into the picture, because by the time you struggle with all of these things, before you know it, you are taking up 1 year, 2 years, and it is now during this time that you start sitting and be asking the question like, what are you actually doing wrong? And then started cutting some of these things out. That's even if you are able to figure out that you are doing them wrongly. So to make sure that you don't have to go through that, I've taken my time to come up with all these things that I've experienced in the past and that I've stopped doing, and so that you, my fans, you, my family, can learn from it. So that's enough talk. Let's just jump right into it. So the first thing I'll be going to talk about today is the act of taking every trading strategy as a religion. Taking it as something that is sacred. I remember when I started trading, I was given a tutorial class. A friend of mine paid for it, so I was given the class is by King. What's his name? I forgot the guy's name, but it's quite popular. I'm going to put his name on the screen if I can still remember by the during this video I'm going to talk about. I'm going to mention him, right? So he gave me the video and I started watching the video. That this is when I've actually learned a little bit on YouTube and some friends. So he gave me the video. I started learning the video. I started watching the video. And because of the way the guy was teaching, I thought this is all I needed, right? I thought this is all I needed. I don't need anything else. And the fact is that this guy might actually be making money with the strategy, but I wasn't seeing any result personally. I tried it for years, for months. I wasn't seeing any results, and I do normally just laugh at other people trading something else that, oh, this is the holy grail, and if I'm just able to get it right, I'm going to be making more profits and be the new big thing. But I was so wrong, and I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that this thing is not working for me, because I've seen it as a religion. I've seen it as something that the more I keep doing it, the better it gets. But that's not the case. And I've seen this, being rampant among beginner traders. Whichever strategy they start learning first, because you have been sold the dream, you have been sold the narrative of, oh, this strategy makes me millions, you think you can also use it to make millions, right? But it doesn't always work that way. And in as much as you are seeing every single strategy as a religion, as being sacred, as something that you cannot change, as something that you cannot add something else to it, as something that there's no better option for you out there, it will be so hard, if not impossible, for you to actually live the losing streak realm, because something that majority of us fail to understand at the beginning is that strategy is something that needs to be personalized. So in as much as you are seeing any strategy as a religion, it will be so hard for you to grow out of it. And whatever strategy you are learning, you need to be able to personalize it. You need to be able to reiterate it to make it yours. Whichever strategy is it that you are learning, no strategy that works for person A exactly might not work for you. Like, you need to come to the understanding of that. But as a beginner trader, this is one thing that we don't know. We thought, oh, one strategy is enough. Like, by learning this strategy only, I'm gonna be profitable. Maybe there is some things in the strategy that does not just align with your life, that does not just align with you as a person, and you need to remove some things, add some things, know the strength of the strategy, know the weakness of it, to know what do you need to improve more on. So this is one of the 9 mistakes that I made while coming up, because I let me even check the guy up. I think I have him here. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the full gist. Give me a second. Right. Give me a second. It should be here. I still have his videos right here. Yes, cash. Cash K4X Elite, cash FX, right? So it was cash FX strategy. I mean, these are the videos. I still have them all right here. You can see they are in my draft, in my what's it called, in my drive, Google Drive. It was shared with me. So I have everything: cash FX journal, copy that cash FX. So I watched it from beginning to the end, thinking this is the only strategy that I need to be successful. But after so many months of failing, losing market with it, I realized maybe this strategy is not for me. Then I learned something else, then learned something else, then learned something else. Then I realized that all these strategies actually have some things in common. Then this is when I start to decode the fact that there is no only great strategy. Just find the one that works for you and stick with it. So the second thing that I'll be advising you against is thinking backtesting results can determine live trading success. This one is quite important, because then, one of the things that you hear if you are just coming out to learn how to trade is to backtest. When you learn a strategy, you should backtest it. But the truth is, when you are doing something in hindsight, you can easily just change your decision on the fly. You are not being affected in any way. You just change your decision on the fly, look for the things that work against the thing that does not work, and then come to the conclusion that, oh, the strategy works if I just do this and do this. But when it comes to the live market, it's a different ballgame, because you need to be doing it on the fly. I mean, you need to be doing it right there, not waiting for it to happen. Then you can now decide, oh, I did not do it before, now let me do it again. Let me do it, let me redo it, let me do it now, let me enter now, after the market has already played out, right? So backtesting results can never be transferred into the live market. So this is something that I failed to realize sooner when starting out. I do backtest a lot. I backtest, like, just go back years and keep backtesting it. And trust me, it works, because that was what I was looking for. I was basically looking for when the strategy works as against when it doesn't work. So I don't pay attention to when it doesn't work. I just want to know how many times does it work, right? So, and this unfortunately does not transfer into the live market. And the best thing for backtesting is, if you have already reached a level in your trading career where you understand how the market works, and maybe you learn something new, and you want to see how it's going to perform if you add it to your trade, to your already available system, that's when you can go back and backtest that system and see what is the potential of it playing out in the live market. But as a beginner, backtesting is the wrong way to go. The best way for me right now that I understand more is that I would rather have forward test, or just add a little bit of amount of money to try with, because as a beginner, trying to do demo trading is not also good, but I would say it's still better than backtesting, because if you are doing demo trading, you have to wait for the things you are looking for to show up. At least this teach you the lesson of being patient, waiting for your strategy to actually play out. But just starting out, it is best to either forward test, or open a demo account, or just add a little bit of amount and risk as little as possible to learn the strategy you are learning, right? So that's the second thing that I I know that I struggled with because I backtested for months, for years, especially this cash FX strategy. I backtested it so much that I was just so happy that once I get into the live market, I'm going to be making millions. Bro, that wasn't the case. So the third thing I want to talk about is something that majority of people do, especially beginner traders, and that is they follow clouds and shiny stuff. And how do I mean by this? Majority of people knows about trading because they see someone posting about it, telling them this is how they make their first $1 million to buy this car, buy this house, buy this, and at the end of the day, they ask you to join their mentorship so you can learn how to do so, right? So that's how majority of us, including myself, learn about trading. We follow shiny stuff. And if you see someone that is not just posting, that is not posting shiny stuff, but is showing us result, we want to see shiny stuff. We think the result is somehow fake, right? So we follow the shiny stuff, we keep paying for the shiny stuff, and that keeps giving us the wrong expectation, the wrong idea of what the market is actually like. They don't usually post their losses. They don't usually talk about the risk that is involved in the market. So we keep having the wrong expectation, and then we keep blaming our psychology for not winning in the market. So following shiny stuff will most definitely give you a wrong expectation of the market. It's not going to give you the right expectation. You won't be having the right expectation of the market, knowing that it's all about a game of probabilities. Because if you are seeing someone making millions of dollars and are telling you that by learning how to do it the way I did it, you can do it as well, but you do it the way he said he did it and you are not seeing the results, and then the next thing you should come for advanced class that's going to teach you what you are missing in the first one. So you keep going on in this loop and you won't even know you are wasting a lot of time. You are fucking up your psychology, you are messing up your mind, you are being mindful, right? So that's the third thing that I went through a lot, like for the longest of time, until I decided to cut off social media and unfollow majority of the traders that I follow that post just shiny stuff, and start following people that actually post the right information, right? So the fourth thing also, the fourth thing is also very important, and that is thinking that the more complicated the strategy is, the better it is, right? Thinking that you need something so complicated that you feel like if it's not complicated, everybody should be doing it, right? You are so wrong, right? So complicated strategy does not translate into a winning strategy. You might have a complicated strategy with a lot of jargons that can actually be simplified to the most simplest of things. But majority of us just feel like when they say follow the trend, it's so simple to just follow the trend, but majority of people will not do that, right? Like, why should I just follow the trend, just trade supply and demand, when there is one big grammar strategy out there that people claims is making them a lot of money? Why won't I just trade that instead? But in the real sense, having a complicated strategy doesn't mean it is a good strategy. So if you see someone that is teaching you something simple, just pay close attention to it. It's not all the time you want to be hearing those big grammars about trading. It's not that complicated. And the fifth thing is, everybody wants this. It affects everybody, even someone that have spent some years in trading and understand a lot of things. We all want to succeed too quickly. And unfortunately for majority, wanting to succeed too quickly put a lot more pressure on you to perform well in the market. And the market, unfortunately, because it's nobody's father's land, it deals with your mistake immediately, right? The pressure you are putting on yourself, it doubles it for you, triple it for you. You'll be missing trades. You will take some trades, you will lose. The one you decide not to take becomes a winning trade, and you start putting more pressure on yourself. As why haven't I taken this trade? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? So majority of people beat themselves down because of this, because they are putting too much pressure on themselves to perform, to succeed. But the truth of the matter is, trading takes time, right? Trading takes time. Even by the time you start to understand stuff, like, you still deal with some other things until you find something that is so simple you can repeatedly do without actually thinking about it. So don't put much pressure on yourself and don't think too much about it. You don't need to succeed today. Just know that by following this path, by not giving up, for sure, you are going to reach that goal of yours. So the sixth one is thinking that you can take all the opportunities the market gives. You see this, you are going to struggle with it a lot because I did as well. Yeah, anytime I come to the market to trade and I see a big move, I want to be involved in the big move. Even if the strategy I'm trading does not have anything to do with it, does not give me an entry during this big move, I just feel bad that, oh, I could have taken this move. I'll be looking for every opportunity, like every reasons for me to enter this trade, like forming reasons of my head, like things that doesn't even make sense, like just for me to be involved in this move. And this is not a good way to go about trading. The market is always going to provide opportunities. If you miss one, that's just moves you closer to actually getting to the big opportunities you are looking for. And also, this is also the same thing when you think you can also catch every pullbacks, every continuation, every pullback, every continuation in the market. Even though this is possible and there are people that are doing it, but it is kind of stressful for you to manage the fact that, oh, this entry is not going to move long, this one is going to move long. At some point, you're going to get yourself confused. It's going to even lead to more missing trades because where you are supposed to be looking for buys, because you are already in a sell, you want to make sure that your sell, you are hoping that your sell will break the zone you are supposed to buy from, just so that you can make more profit on the sell that you are already in, right? So thinking that you can take all the possible opportunities in the market is one of the things you will struggle with as a beginner trader or someone just learning to trade. And the best way to go about it is to follow the trend. The trend is your friend. Only trade one direction in the market. If your bias is telling you that the market is going to be bullish, wait for your buy setup to show up and buy. And this is something that I personally started doing of recent. Before I take both buys and sells, both sells and buy. I recently realized that majority of the successful traders that I look up to, they only trade one direction. Like they only take, if they want to buy, the buys. If their buyer said the market is going to buy for the day, they keep looking for buy setup for the day. If their buyer said the market is going to sell for the day, they keep looking for sell setup for the day. So instead of looking for the opposite counter trend, they just find an obstacle. They find zones that can push price down, and instead of taking buy sells or buy from there, they wait for it to push price down to the next opportunity zone for them to actually continue taking buys or sell regarding depending on the overall direction of the market for the day. So this is something that you should try and adopt as well if possible, because it's going to give you more clarity about the strategy you are trading. Because if you are looking for buys and sell, you get more confused, you will miss trades more. So that's one other thing I will change if I'm just starting out or if I'm still a beginner right now, knowing all these things that I've known. So the seventh one is not having a SOP. So this one is actually important, and it's something that as a beginner trader, regardless of the strategy you are learning, it will be hard for you to follow the rules. And this grows from not having a SOP. So what is an SOP? SOP is just like saying having a trading rule. But instead of seeing it as a rule, you see it as a standard of operation, like as a step-by-step that you need to take to reach your goal. Like if A happens, I look for B. If B happens, I look for C. If C happens, I look for D, and I enter the trade. And you know that if A happens but B doesn't happen and C happens, that's wrong. You cannot take the trade. If A happens, B happens, C happens, but D doesn't happen, you cannot take the trade. So that's basically your SOP, which means standard of operation. So as a beginner trader, you might not have something like this. You might think you can have everything in your head, but without you knowing, you most of the time be doing what you like. You'll be forcing your sentiment on the market. These are the things that I struggled with for the longest, and that is why at every end of every single trade, I always have something to blame myself for. Oh, I could have held this trade to this zone. I could have set my stop loss at this zone. I could have done this. I could have done that. But if I have an SOP or a SOP that I work with, like, oh, I only target 1 to 10, I only target 1 to 5, I only target 1 to 3. If this is so and so is aligning, and my stop loss is always going to be 1 to 3 on gold, it's always going to be 1 to 5 on USDJPY, it's always going to be this so and so on this. So that's your standard of operation, that even if it eventually hits your stop loss, well, you didn't do anything wrong. You did what you are supposed to do. You did what you've been doing that has been giving you some results. And so having a standard of operation is quite important as well. And that's something you might want to explore. So the last thing is actually something I would love to discuss a little bit more, and that's actually to being flexible. Be flexible with everything you do in the market. And this take me back to the first thing that I mentioned in this video, which is seeing every strategy as a religion. This comes out of not being flexible. If you are flexible with the strategy, flexible with yourself, flexible with what you are looking for, understanding yourself, know that okay, if this strategy works in this way but it doesn't work in this way, what other strategy have this strength in the way that this strategy is not working, and combine everything together, mix it up, be a scientist, like see trading strategy as something you need to craft. See yourself as a designer. Design the one that's going to work for you. It doesn't have to be that you are taking a course or a class just to do exactly as the person that's teaching you is doing. That might take you longer because you might not have the schedule of the person, you might not have the account balance of the person. Maybe the person is just targeting 1 to 2 every week, and if he's having a 17 million, 20 million account and is making 2% of those every week, is much more enough for him than you that you have a $200 account and you want to be making 2% of that every week. It will seem small, it won't feel enough, but that's the person's strategy. That's what is trading. So in as much as you are adding something else to it that is not the way he's trading it, you can as well expect that you are going to have a different result from him. It might not be a good result or not. So it's just for you to find out what is the downside of this strategy and how can I make it better. So that is it for this video. I hope that you learn something from this and you are willing to change, because trading can be tempting in a way that you feel like you can do more. You feel like you don't need an SOP. You feel like you don't need to follow your rules. You don't need to follow your plans. You feel like you can become rich quickly because that's how it seems. But majority of the time, it doesn't always work that way in reality. Trading takes time, trading takes discipline, and trading takes you to understand what your weakness is and find the strength in it. So that's it for this video, and I hope it resonates with someone, and I hope I'm able to help someone out as well. So that will be it for this video, and then peace out. I'll see you in the next one.